last week we were covering about Ramadan.
Oh, okay.
We're covering about Ramadan, and last week it was mostly about the virtues and benefits of Ramadan. Okay? So we can't recap, probably won't be enough time, but what we can do, you can always look up some videos, virtues of Ramadan. A lot of those will come up, yeah. So but what we're actually going to be doing today is more about Ramadan itself. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadi alladhina istafa amma ba'd. Now firstly, one thing which is a very common misconception, Ramadan doesn't mean fasting. Okay? Ramadan does not mean fasting. Ramadan is a month, one of the months of the year, just like February, March, April. We've got 12 months in the year as well, as mentioned previously, lunar months, either 29 days or 30 days. So Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic year. But because it's kind of connected a lot with fasting, it's that month that we fast in. Now firstly, in Arabic, fasting is Sawm. So it's mentioned like Sawm, which means to abstain. We're abstaining from food and other things there. So Ramadan is that month in which we fast. Ramadan does not mean fasting. Sawm means fasting. But that's the month allocated in which we now conduct our fast. And that's the entire month. And as mentioned previously as well, Ramadan will start when the month of Ramadan enters. And the time switch from one day to another just happened just now about 20 minutes ago. And that is sunset. So Islamically, we don't use midnight. That's not what we use. Let's go to the Western calendar. It switches over at midnight. 12 a.m. becomes the next day. For us, as soon as the sun sets, the next day enters. So now we have entered into Thursday. Islamically, entered into Thursday. And same as Ramadan. Ramadan then would enter after sunset. So if the moon's not sighted, then Ramadan has begun. And the next day we'll fast, because we don't fast in the night, we fast in the day. Okay. All right, now we're going to start about fasting. And firstly, there are different types of fasts that we do. The only fast that's really compulsory, that is compulsory for us, we say fard. Fard means compulsory. Just like other things, there's certain actions that are optional. In the religion, there's certain actions that are compulsory. So the only really compulsory fast is the fast of Ramadan. Outside Ramadan, you can fast. They are optional. Some of them are emphasized sunnahs, which means, it's a very good practice. There's a lot of reward in that. And those fasts normally after the month of Ramadan, the month of Shawwal, is the 10th month of the Islamic calendar. Any 6 days in that month, it's an optional fast. Some people will fast 6 days in that entire month. So 29 days, 6 of those days before that month finishes, fast 6, called 6 fasts of Shawwal. Some people straight after Eid will start 1 to 6. Some people will do like 2 a week for 3 weeks, or break it up just on the weekend, whatever the case may be. Any 6 days in that next month, that is an optional, but it's a sunnah. Sunnah is something practiced by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In the 12th month of the Islamic calendar, that's the last month, that's when the Hajj takes place, where all people go to Makkah. Now people go to Makkah throughout the year. They perform a pilgrimage, which is an optional one. The fard one that you have to, if you have the means to do so, and you can do that normally once in your lifetime. It's very expensive. It's a bit of a journey. Most people do it once in their lifetime. Some people have the option to do it more, but only once is compulsory if the criteria is met, if you are able to do so. If health-wise or finance-wise, or basically transport's not available, when COVID happened, then it all shut down. It wasn't compulsory on anyone to do the Hajj because the entrance into the country wasn't possible. So on the 9th day of the Hijjah, which is just before the Eid, the celebration, it's optional. It's a Sunnah fast. And then the next month, which is now the year's completed, 12th month of the Islamic, come to the first month which is called Muharram, to fast on the 9th and the 10th day of Muharram is also a sunnah fast. Besides that, other types of fast, the Prophet ﷺ used to fast sometimes Mondays and Thursdays, another sunnah fast, or in every month when the moon is at its fullest, 14th, 15th and 16th of every month, when the moon is at its fullest, those 3 days. All optional, but you can fast any other day you feel like as well as an optional fast. Okay, now with the optional fast as well, sometimes we want something from our Creator. We've got an exam coming up, right? We have an exam coming up, so what happens? Oh, I'm not sure how I'm going to do an exam. Let me do before, a bit before the exam, a few days before the exam, let me do a few fasts. Ya Allah, I'm going to do these fasts to make my exams easy. Okay, you've got some calamity in your life, you want the help of Allah, all good deeds attract the mercy of our Creator. So, sometimes people use fast for that as well. Another form is called minna, which means, again, exam coming up, person says, well look, it's going to be a tough exam. Says, Ya Allah, if I pass the exam, I'm going to fast for 3 days as a promise. So, pass the exam, then you have to fast for 3 days, because you made that promise now. If you fail an exam, then you don't have to fast the 3 days. But what we don't do, we don't just promise to fast and not do our homework and say, I'll just promise to fast, so it's got it. No, that's not the way it works. We have to take the means, do our studies, try our best, and then also, as an extra type of thing, asking Allah's help, I will fast for 3 days if I pass my exam, or, if I get this new job, or whatever it can be, or my mum's not well, or something like that. If my mum gets better, I'm going to fast for 3 days. Anything you wish to kind of attract. That's, again, we're talking about the optional fast. Now, some fasts are not advised. It's better not to do these fasts. And that one is fasting only on Fridays. Now, Friday is already a blessed day. The Friday prayers take place. We shouldn't single out Fridays for fasts. Okay, now, what I mean, so look, I'll fast every Friday. Once a week, I'm going to fast every Friday. That's against the sunnah. It's not a preferred method to do things. Friday, we've already got our, our Friday prayers, all those other things. It wasn't the practice of the Prophet. Now, but if we're doing that fast when the moon's full, okay, 14, 15, and that falls on a Friday, no issue. Okay, if our exam's coming up on Saturday and that's the only day we can fast, yes, we're not choosing out the Friday for that particular reason, not an issue. The 6 days of Shawwal, those 6 days and that Fridays, because but just to single out Fridays for fast, again, not a thing. And then some days you're not allowed to fast. There's no reward and you actually get sin for fasting. You want to tell me those days? Which days?
Yeah,
8 days, right. Yeah. 2 days of celebration. We have 2 days of celebration. They're called Eid. Eid means to celebrate. 2 days of celebration. 1 day is after the month of Ramadan finishes. So, what happens? Moon is sighted, we start Ramadan, we start fasting, and then the moon is sighted again for the next month. So Ramadan will either be 29 or 30 days. So we're sighted on the 29th. The next day would be the first day of Shawwal, the next month. We've now finished Ramadan. The first day of Shawwal is also the day of Eid, automatically. Now, Eid is there as a celebration. You've accomplished your Ramadan. Now go out and celebrate, okay? So, we are not going to go to our daughter's wedding fasting, are we? No. It's a celebration. So Allah says, celebrate. Today is a day off for you. Celebrate. Do not fast on this day. Okay, again, no reward, but you get sin and you're sacrificing by fasting and you're getting nothing out of it. But the command is now, don't fast. And the other day of Eid. The other day of Eid is again on the 12th month of the Islamic year, which is called Dhul Hijjah. That's when everyone's going to Makkah, or those people that are doing Hajj going to Makkah, and they do that. Now let's see who's paying attention. Which day is it sunnah to fast in the month of Dhul Hijjah? There's a sunnah day in the month of Dhul Hijjah. Which day was that?
The 10th?
No, not the 10th. Close. No. 9th. You know what I said? The 9th day of Dhul Hijjah? It's the day of Arafah is a sunnah to fast, right? The next day is Eid. It's haram to fast, okay? So if you know a bit about Hajj, that's another topic. We're not going to go through it. But if you know a bit about Hajj, that's when they stand in Arafah. That's the peak and pinnacle of the Hajj. When they stand on the 9th day, then they go to the throwing of the pebbles. So, 9th day of Dhul Hijjah, it's actually sunnah to fast. The 10th day is the day of Eid. People doing Hajj there, they're doing their Hajj, they should continue with their pilgrimage. Everyone else in the world celebrates. Again, it's the other day that we should not fast. 2 days. Okay, now we're going to discuss a little bit about what a fast entails. What is fasting? Okay, so firstly, we have to understand when the fast begins and when the fast finishes. Now, it starts from dawn. What is dawn?
Sunrise.
Sunrise is actually something different. Sunrise, yeah?
Just a tiny bit of light right on the very horizon.
Correct. So, dawn is actually the light that appears on the horizon before sunrise. Now, you'll find that the dawn begins about an hour and 20 minutes before sunrise. Now, okay, dawn here for tomorrow is 4:23. Sunrise is at 5:51. I'm just looking off the app there. 4:23 to 5:51. So what's that?
Nearly an hour and a half.
About, yeah, it is actually right. About an hour and a half. Now, we go with calculations before that. Now, actually, you probably, if dawn is at 5:23, you won't see any light for about another 15 minutes. It's because of the pollution and all the lights of the city. But if you go right out in the country, right, say near the desert somewhere where there's no pollution and there's no lights, and you look closely, that's the time the dawn will begin. But obviously, there's buildings and all these type of things which kind of delay our vision, but it's not going by what we see, it goes by what actually is there, which is the light. So when dawn is at light, it just starts right on the horizon. So the best, if you're ever on the plane at at dawn time, and that's the clearest you can actually see. It's just the whole horizon just lights up like it's got a white line around it. Now, what else happens? What else enters at the time of dawn? Morning prayers. From dawn to sunrise, which is about an hour and a half. We've got to pray that. From dawn to sunrise. Now, dawn is when we start fasting. It's not sunrise, it's actually dawn. That's when we have to start our fast.
Usually start 10 minutes before.
You do that, yes, because you're fasting the whole day. Let's say we've got the apps, we've got calendars, all these type of things, or websites. You just look at prayer times or fasting times. Now all comes up. Yep, because we're fasting the whole day, we don't want to spoil it. So people normally say 5 or 10 minutes, but technically, as long as you don't eat anything when dawn begins, but people 5 or 10 minutes before. Most calendars use 10 minutes, some people use 5 minutes, okay? As long as you don't start, you need to stop eating. So they, out of precaution, same as sunset, sometimes they delay it 5 minutes. I was once at the beach at sunset, and it was you can very clearly see the sun setting on the horizon. So I wanted to see how accurate these apps were. And actually they were pretty much, very
waiting
accurate.
For the moon to come.
Oh no, I was just there for another reason. Just kind of was very hot weather, but I was just going to remember that I said, well, let me check, and the weather bureau will tell you sunset and sunset, and sunrise, and those things. So I was getting off the weather bureau, actually very accurate, within 30 seconds. So anyway, so the start of the fast is dawn, and once the sun has fully set under the horizon, that is when you can break your fast. Now, just like dawn, the light starts off slow and gets brighter and brighter until the sun rises. Sunset, once the sun's set, there's still a lot of light out. You don't have to wait for that light to disappear. To break your fast, it's when the sun disappears under the horizon. That light that stays there is fine. Okay, now from dawn to sunset, we have to abstain from 3 things. That is food, liquids, and relations with spouses. So those 3, abstaining from that, for those 3 things, any food, any type of liquids, and relations with spouses from dawn to sunset. But there's one more thing we have to add on. There has to be intention for fast. Without the intention to fast, then the fast is not correct. And what is the intention? Well, intention is really an action of the heart, okay? It's the motivator of our action, which is there. But say, for an example, someone didn't sleep the whole night, they slept just before dawn, and they woke up half an hour before sunset, and by the time they had something to eat or drink, the sun was already set. So they didn't eat from or drink or have relations from dawn to dusk, but what was missing?
Intention.
Intention wasn't there. So now we're going to do, okay, how do we do it now?
The intention should be uttered before you start your fast.
Correct. Well, look, yes, but if you forget to make your intention, or if you or you didn't get up for, basically you didn't get up for Fajr or to have something to before. If you got up in the morning at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I didn't make it, you just make it then. Again, intention is the motivator. So what's motivating you not to eat is that I'm fasting. That is an intention in itself.
But you can get up at 8 o'clock
And make the intention.
And do the full day and fast.
Correct.
In the beginning, can we make the intention for the whole month?
You can. You can say right from the beginning, okay, month of Ramadan's begun. I intend to fast the entire month of Ramadan. It's fine. Okay. Now, when is the cutoff time for intention? That is when the sun reaches its zenith, midday. Okay, that's where the afternoon prayer enters. So you've got to do it in the morning. Now, sometimes the Prophet, peace be upon him, not in Ramadan, we're talking about optional prayer. Sometimes he used to wake up in the morning and there's nothing to eat in the house. He goes, well, I'm going to fast today. He hasn't eaten anything, hasn't drinking anything from dawn. So he said, well, there's no food anyway, I'm going to fast today. You can. And, and what's it called? As long as that's done before midday, okay? So yes.
Any time before Zohar is considered a valid fast?
If you make, yes, that's the cut-off time for intention. If you haven't made the intention by then. So if someone woke up a little bit late and then it's already, say, past midday, and he said, oh, might as well fast today, it's too late. You've got to do that before. Okay. But again, as Brother Shah said, yes, you can make the intention for the entire month of Ramadan, right at that beginning there. So intention is the motivator of action. So we're conscious we're fasting, and the reason why I'm not eating or drinking or having relations with my spouse is because I'm fasting. That is in itself an intention. All right. So no food and no drinks, okay? That does not mean you can smoke. I'm talking about cigarettes.
What about
That's a good motivation for giving up smoking.
Absolutely.
What about vaping?
Vaping is the same
Is
thing.
that the same?
Yep. So no cigarettes,
right.
no vapes, okay? Smoking, okay? So basically, you're also taking, I know it's not food or liquids, but you're taking something in intentionally. Now, if you walk past a bushfire and there's just smoke everywhere, that does not break your fast. That's not intentional. Or someone's smoking and walks past you and puffs the smoke in your face and you walk through it and you end up breathing that in, that does not break your fast because you didn't know that intentionally. Intentionally, if you take a cigarette and then take that there. So that means you can't hang around someone that's vaping to try to get a few extracts there. That's cheating there. All right. Now,
That's medicine. That's a different ball game.
yes, now you brought that up, sister, so I'm going to answer your questions for that one there. Now, technically, asthma puffers break your fast. But these issues went to the muftis and they deliberated the mas'ala. So they came up with that, look, technically you're intentionally inhaling something. Now, if your asthma is a light form and there's going to be a little bit of discomfort, but you can get through your day, then best not to have the asthma puffers. If your asthma is going to cause you a lot of harm by not having it, then they've given permission and the person can continue their fast. Then they'll probably need to speak to their doctor and say, well, or if they know their condition, so they just have to estimate. Now, okay, look, no, it is going to cause a lot of, harm to me if I don't use the asthma puffer. So he would use it and continue fasting.
Is that the same thing with other medication, tablets or something that you have to take?
Okay, So tablets and medication. Now, you can have injections. Okay, you can have injections because injections aren't taken orally. They're fine. Tablets will break your fast.
Okay.
Okay, now again, back to the same thing, depending on your health. If you have to take the tablets at certain times, now if you can manage taking the tablets before dawn and after sunset, and it's still, everything, your health is still going to be okay, there's no major dramas, then that's the preferable method. If you have to take them at certain intervals and they're going to be in the time of fasting, then you can't fast, and then you pay a charity compensation of the fast. Okay, same as diabetes. Now with diabetics, if they don't eat at certain times, they end up fainting, and so again, a person got diabetics to a level that if they don't eat, they're going to faint, they're going to cause harm to their health. Then they excuse from fasting and they pay a charity in lieu of that.
They have to make it up again after.
Not if it's ongoing. Now, if we're sick, now that's probably coming up as well. There's some exemptions for fast. One of them is if you're sick. So if you've got a temporary sickness, okay, Ramadan, you got the flu, and that's it. You can't fast. So you don't fast. You just look after your health, and then, all right, the flu lasted a week. Then you have to make up a week. But something ongoing like diabetes, or you've got another health issue, or someone's become too old to fast. Some people they've reached an age in their life that their bodies would not be able to take the fast. The age is not letting them fast. That's a permanent thing. You're not going to get any better from that because you're getting older, right? Or a sickness is, look, there's no, I've got diabetes and it's, there's not real avenue for it to be cured. Then they're excused permanently from fasting.
A person of advanced years, how do you judge whether he's too old to fast?
Well, look, it's the person's, up to his own...
Is it up to him to sort of...
So you can put it that, obviously, fasting is taking us out of our comfort zone, isn't it? Everyone. I mean, you can be young. You're coming out of your comfort zone. Now, you're used to having breakfast, lunch and dinner. You're used to drinking water whenever you feel like it. You feel like you want a snack, you want your afternoon coffee. Now, stop. It's all got to stop. Okay? So, we're all coming out of our comfort zones. We're not talking about comfort zones here. We're more talking about if someone now has reached an elderly age to the point that, look, he's struggling to get through the day. It's affecting his whole, so by midday or by by 3 p.m. he can't even get off the couch. He's just got no energy and he's struggling to do any basic type of tour. So kind of estimate it. It's up to the individual. Look, no, you start feeling, well, look, I'm feeling I'm getting too old to fast and I'm just struggling too much. Now, so it is a struggle. It's coming out of your comfort, it's a bit of a struggle, but it shouldn't be taking us to the point that we cannot do anything.
So it's if the individual's okay to continue on, he just goes on.
And you're okay. I think so. Yeah, really what it is once the person feels that, no, it's just getting too difficult, I can't, and especially in Islam, we're always protecting people's health and well-being. Fasting is actually a very healthy thing to do. Yeah. It improves your health. It's been proven again and again. Fasting improves your health.
Doesn't hurt you.
No, it actually improves your health. If it's now having the opposite effect, you become too old to fast.
I've found during fasting, to me, the first 3 days are the hardest, and after that, it's easier.
That's the caffeine withdrawal.
No,
for me, it's the caffeine withdrawal.
For 3 days, and I'm all right.
Yeah. For me, it's all about the caffeine withdrawal. So after that, and just getting over the caffeine for 3 days, and then it starts getting back to normal. Well, you can do, but I wouldn't advise it if you want to sleep after.
No, before dawn, you're not going to go to sleep until later in the day.
Well, of course, you can have as much coffee as you want before dawn and after sunset. Yeah. So it depends. What I do, it was all right more in winter where the days are long.
Yeah.
But now we're getting into kind of, well, it's actually in autumn now. It's going to enter March, is it autumn? So, yeah, so the days are a little bit too short. So I have something to eat, wait for dawn to begin, pray my morning prayer, and then I get a few hours more sleep in.
Oh, I see, yeah.
If you don't have a plan, if you plan to stay awake, then think. So you can have a coffee, but then I wouldn't, because then I won't be able to get back to sleep, and it's going to kind of disrupt my day. And and coffee keeps me awake.
That's what it's meant to do.
Well, it doesn't affect some people. My father, before he sleeps, he has 2-3 Turkish coffees and he puts his head on the pillow. I don't know how he does it, but it doesn't have any effect on him. Anyway, so does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
It's up to the individual. So it's between them and Allah, but Allah understands our situation.
It's best to fast.
Well, look, again, the priority here is to look after your health. And fasting is a healthy thing. But the individual starts saying, look, I feel that I'm getting too old now to fast. It's becoming just too difficult. Then he pays a charity, which I'll speak about that a bit later, about the charity. So not eating, drinking, or relations from dawn to sunset with the intention is what we call a fast. All right. So now what we want to discuss now, so about the intention, it's good to say it verbally, just so because we're neglectful. Okay, it's dawn, all right, and we're about to fast, then basically I intend to fast all of Ramadan or this day of Ramadan. Even if you make it, as Brother Shah said, you made an intention for the whole month of Ramadan, it's good to renew that intention every day as well. You can do it in English, you can speak other languages, you can do it in your own language. Some people like to learn it in Arabic as well. They can do it in Arabic and English. Yes, correct. Now, before I go to what breaks the fast and what does not break the fast, okay, we're going to speak about what we call sahri or suhoor. Okay, now it was practices of our Prophet, peace be upon him, are an enlightenment through and through. So he had certain practices. We adopt those practices, we are more mimicking his life, and we're getting extra reward. In Ramadan, one of those practices was he used to wake up before dawn for a pre-dawn meal. So now let's again look at today's date. So, okay, tomorrow morning, dawn is at 4:23. So he'd wake up and get up 20 minutes before, half an hour before, and have a pre-dawn type of meal. Now, it just helps us get through the fast, but because it was a practice of the Prophet, peace be upon him, then we get reward. So we're actually making our fast easier, one, and we're getting rewarded for making our fast easier as well. Okay, so now then it's up to you how you want to have that pre-dawn meal. You can have coffee, you can have it. I said the best things would be something that's got some fibre and protein to get us through the day. Sugary cereals, which will spike our sugar levels, and then we're going to be hungry.
Chili, everything.
I'm Arab, and with us Arabs, we have kind of olives, yogurt, eggs, and those type of things we call breakfast. I went in Pakistan, they were having curry and rice and roast chicken and roast beef, and it was like a dinner. I couldn't have that for a pre-dawn meal. I'd probably feel very uncomfortable after that. It's whatever you kind of want to have. And again, what we do, we just have to time it so that, okay, I can get up. If it's already prepared, it's good. A lot of people just prepare something, put it in the fridge, so when they wake up, they don't have to prepare something in the morning. Some people they want hot eggs or fresh eggs and all these type of things. Well, they can wake up a little bit early and get the preparation done. So we can have that. Now, normally, then what's going to happen? We cannot, once dawn enters, we cannot eat or drink. Now, brush your teeth. Can you brush your teeth while you are fasting?
No. I would have said no.
Yeah. Well, you can brush your teeth just with a brush, but to use toothpaste, then you should avoid using that because it mixes with the saliva. anything that goes down the throat will break the fast, because now the saliva itself, if you swallow your saliva while you're fasting, it doesn't break your fast. But if it's mixed now with toothpaste or something else and it goes down, it will break your fast. So best to kind of brush your teeth as well, because you've got the whole day to get through. Okay, now once our stomachs get empty, what happens? We start getting a bit of bad breath, because our stomachs, normally if there's food in there, it holds down that odour, but once it gets empty. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you're fasting for me. That smell, which is normally not a positive smell, says to our Creator, that is more beautiful than the smell of musk. It's not going to be for us that way, but there is a tooth stick that we can use called a miswak. Okay, they have them here, David?
Yeah.
Have some outside. Whereabouts? All right, get me one as well. Mine's getting old. In, say, Pakistan and Malaysia, and that you can buy them just about everywhere. Here, they're a little bit harder to get.
We're all electric.
So we use it there. I still use it, but I just think on there. So, not an issue. A bit of bad breath, but that's in the eyes of Allah.
Inshallah, there's only one left. There you go.
That is there.
Genuine.
That is a misfire. This is from the root of a tree. It's called the Iraq tree. Not Iraq tree. Okay? This is from the root. So it grows these roots, and people then pull up the tree, and all the roots are like these sticks. They cut them up like that. Now, then they kind of peel. They peel just it's got like a bark on it. It's like a thin bark. They peel off that, and then that's got a very, sweet smell, and it's good for cleaning the teeth. And that's what the Prophet, peace be upon him, used to use to clean his teeth. That there. So, again, another sunnah. So, you can use that while you're fasting. Even if it's got an odour, this is allowed. Only this there. Toothpaste is different, okay? So, you can use it if you can get your hands on one of those there. Okay. So, now where was I? I got distracted there for a second. Okay, so the pre-dawn meal. Okay, if something happens to me sometimes, sleep in, wake up,
Right.
it's too late. Well, bad luck. You have to get through it without your pre-dawn meal. Okay? It's
breakfast.
in there. That's right. Now, we are just coming out now, well, Stephen and others that, kind of quite new to it. We've been having fasting in mid, like probably back about these 5-6 years, it was like in winter. So having it in July, June, in May, where the days are a lot shorter, the nights are a lot longer, and it's cooler in the daytime. The fasts were very easy. I wish you became Muslim that time. It would have been a great time to start.
5, you're breaking your
Yes.
fast.
Now we're coming into, so we are now, it's actually in the first month of autumn, which is still quite hot, and the days are long. Next year, it will start probably mid-February,
Yeah, it'll come earlier each year.
and then we're going right into midsummer.
To 7:30 before you get...
Correct. We're going right into summer. A bit more of a challenge. All right, so there, basically, but yeah, if we miss it, that's fine. We can just keep fasting if we're able to there. All right, so pre-dawn meal, again, so it's good practice, kind of brush your teeth, just clean that there, because you want to have that full opportunity once you start fasting. Now, the next thing, what breaks the fast and what does not break the fast? Okay, now, basically, eating or drinking purposely or having relations with one's spouse breaks the fast. Okay, doing it on eating. Now, if we forget we're fasting and I just came to the table and I saw those nice cakes and that looked nice, and I put it in my mouth and I ate it, and then I said, oh, fasting. That does not break your fast, because it wasn't intentional. You forgot that you were fasting and you ate something, and then you realised. But when you realise now, I've eaten half that cake, half that cupcake, and then, whoops, I swallowed half and I realised I'm fasting. So I've got to stop anything in my mouth, I've got to spit out, wash my mouth out, and continue fasting. I can't say, well, look, I've eaten half, let me just eat the other half. No, because the first half I ate
It's unintentional.
was unintentional.
Second half would be intentional.
Correct. The second half would be intentional. So then the second half would break the fast, not the first half. So drinking as well, even if you had a whole kebab with chips and a drink and you totally forgot and you're actually very full, but you honestly forgot your fasting, then the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah fed you. You didn't feed yourself, Allah fed you. So, and then you finished everything and I'm fasting, you just now stop and continue and you get the reward of the full fast that was not intentional. You cannot pretend to forget that you're fasting. You have to honestly and truly forget that you are fasting. All right, that's called nisyan, to forget. Now, if you accidentally swallow water, knowing that you're fasting, but you accidentally, so you're conscious that you're fasting, you can swim when you're fasting, but you've got to be cautious that water doesn't go back through. Now, someone dived into the swimming pool or dived into the beach and he's conscious that he's fasting, but he didn't take caution in diving in and he swallowed water, that will break a person's fast because he did not forget, but he did not take caution. Having a shower, okay, you had a shower there and you know that you're fasting and water, without you didn't take caution, water goes down your throat. Then you have to now just continue and you have to repeat because that's your first half broken. There's no sin involved in that. It was an accident, but you have to make that fast up. Okay? So there's a difference between the two. Someone that's forgot that they're fasting, they eat, drink, doesn't affect them as long as they stop, as soon as they realize, spit anything out from their mouth and they can continue their fast. Person that is conscious of his fast but didn't take caution in whatever and swallowed, then the fast is broken.
So I got a question on that one. So take a wudu, for example. So, you know, when you clean your mouth. So even if you're taking the biggest precautions, there's maybe a small risk. So if you've taken all the precautions and if you're confident that you've kept out, you know, any water from entering the throat, then the fast is valid.
Okay, so when we make our evolution, washing, a part of the practices, washing hands, washing the mouth. So taking water into the mouth does not break your fast. Swallowing that water breaks your fast. Okay, so normally it's a good practice. When we make our wudu, we actually gargle the water a bit as well. While you're fasting, it's advised not to gargle. Just take water into the mouth and spit it out. Now, once you take water in there, especially when you're fasting, your mouth is very dry. It does moisten the mouth. But once you spit the water out, any water that's now mixed with saliva does not break, it becomes saliva. It does not break your fast. So some people take water and then they keep spitting out, they're trying to get every drop. They don't need to do that.
That's what I've done quite a lot.
You don't need to do that. No. Take water into your mouth, okay? And then you can wash it around your mouth a bit and just spit it out. Whatever's left over there, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay? Also, while you're fasting, if your mouth is a bit unpleasant, you can rinse your mouth and spit out the water. Not only when you're making wudu, but there. Again, miswak is a good thing to practice with, to kind of freshen the mouth up a bit. You can use a toothbrush without toothpaste. You can use a toothbrush with toothpaste. You've got to be very cautious, and then you need to wash out all the toothpaste from the mouth out. But it's advised just to kind of avoid that preference to. But technically, that would not break it if you've got all the toothpaste out and that there. Okay, that's covered. All right. Now, if you okay. Again, medicine would also, injections are fine. Oral medicines we cannot take. And again, I've explained that already. Any non-food items, like, you know, if we're chewing on some paper or something, a pen or something, we swallow something, anything entering the throat will break the fast. So we avoid kind of, you know, chewing on our pen and things like that. I don't think it's a good practice anyway. Okay, also, if an insect enters your mouth, you know, a fly or something, and goes down your throat, that's unintentional. That does not break your fast. Okay, blood comes out from the gums and then you swallow, that doesn't break your fast either. Okay, now this has happened to me before. My clock, I've got a clock, a wall clock, and the battery probably died. And what happened, I thought, well, there's still 45 minutes. And I ate something and I looked at my phone. No, I've eaten after thing. So I had to repeat my fast after Ramadan, make up one day there.
It wasn't intentional though.
It wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional, but I was conscious of it. So it's
You checked
like...
it before dawn and then you ate. It wasn't intentional to eat after dawn.
It wasn't, but the ruling still stands. It's a different... I didn't forget I wasn't paying attention to the right time. I didn't forget that, look, I forgot I'm fasting. So if you put it this way, so if basically my clock stopped and then I ate something, but I wasn't conscious I'm fasting, that's fine. But I was conscious that this is Ramadan, I'm going to fast now, and I ate. I was thinking this time, it was that time.
Because that happens once in a while.
It does happen.
The power goes off at night and
Yeah.
you get all disorientated. You look at the clock off plenty of time.
Yep, it does happen. Very rarely. It's only happened to me once.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Water entering through the ears or the nose doesn't break your fast because they're all kind of connected. Ears, nose and throat are kind of, and the mouth are all connected somewhere along the line. Okay, the ears, there's not that saliva, we've done that one there. And vomiting unintentionally does not break your fast, but vomiting intentionally does. I'm not sure the reason why exactly, but if a person now is feeling ill and he causes themselves to vomit, then no, if we vomit naturally, it's fine, but we shouldn't try to cause ourselves to vomit. Okay. Any questions up to there?
Got 5 minutes, Sheikh,
Yeah?
before Isha comes in.
Got 5 minutes. Okay. Any questions up to there?
With the fidya, let's say if someone's diabetic and they can't fast the whole day, how much is it?
Okay, so it's a certain amount of staple food given to the poor. Last year, I think it was around $14 or $15 a day. So the whole of the month of Ramadan would be, what would that be, $450? The whole month of Ramadan? We're going with local things. If that's too much, the fidya, you can send it overseas. It's a much, it's $450 or something like that. It's too much for a person. They can send it overseas, and overseas it's much cheaper. It'll probably be at about $120 or something like that. Okay. All right. Next thing. Okay. Next thing would be, I'll finish off on this one here, breaking the fast. So again, technically, as soon as the sun sets fully, you can eat. And then people just wait extra 5 minutes, no harm, 5 or 10 minutes, or about 5 minutes normally fine. All right, now, the best thing to break the fast on, the Prophet ﷺ used to break his fast on dates.
Yeah.
If dates aren't available, the next best thing is water. Now, dates are very good. Obviously, we've been fasting the whole day. It's got some natural sugar and give you some energy quite quickly. So he used to break your fast on dates or just the first fast. Now, some places, yes, Malaysia is one of those, it's not just dates, it's samosas and it's different type of fruits, and they've got durian and you name it. Some places really go overboard. Malaysia is one of them. Pakistan is another one of those countries there. Many other ones. It looks like a bazaar. Yeah. It looks of all colours and everything like that.
It's a real ritual.
Yes. So, okay. But, okay, then it's best to start off with a date before you head to the samosas. Okay? That's fine. I was in Pakistan and it was the first time, it was actually Ramadan. And I was being entertained. They picked me up from the airport, my friends, the people that are entertaining me there, and they took me straight, and it was actually just before we were breaking the fast. And I haven't started about travelling, which if you travel, you don't have to fast, but I said plane's easy. I prefer to fast on the plane and not have to make it up after Ramadan. So they brought me there, and I looked left and right, and basically there was enough food to feed an army, basically. So I go, we normally eat after, we pray then we eat. We eat a date or two, bit of water, pray, then we eat. I said, they must eat before. So, and they gave about 15 minutes, and I said, oh, okay, I was quite hungry. So I was sitting there eating from here and there, thinking that we're going to pray, and that was it. I thought maybe that's what they did. So I ate as much as I could. I prayed, and I came back. Everything's been cleared out, and now the curries and the fried chicken and the biryani rice.
The next course.
I said, I can't eat anything now. I thought that was the meal beforehand. But the Arabs are a bit different. I know you go to Arabia, they have other things now, like a bit of yoga, but they just have a few simple things, pray, then they eat there. But everyone, to whatever their culture is, it's all fine. Okay, it's all good. All right, so all right, since I mentioned it as well, fasting if you're traveling. If you're a traveller, and a traveller is a person that's travelling more than 87 kilometres, was 84, 87, which is not a long distance for us, but in the olden days it was a long distance. Okay, by camel it's going to take quite a thing. It's still calculated the same. So basically that's, okay, Rockingham, you're not a traveller, but if you're going to Bunbury, you become a traveller. Or if you're flying, you become a traveller. So because travelling, especially in the olden days, I mean, if you ever travel on a camel in the heat, and it becomes hard. So if you're a traveller, you're exempt. While you're doing your travel, you can break your fast, all good, keep yourself hydrated, eat, whatever you like, and then, okay, I travelled for 3 days, I didn't fast those 3 days, after Ramadan, you just make those up. You have also the choice to stay fasting, even while you're travelling. Now, a lot of people ask me, they ask the Sheikh, I'm driving to Albany in Ramadan, or driving up to Karatha in Ramadan. Should I fast or not fast? I normally say, if you're one of the drivers of the vehicle, don't fast. Because you've got your own life in your hands,
And others.
and you've got others' lives in your hand. Don't fast, because you are not going to be as alert as you are before. And so Allah's given you that option. You don't lose any reward whatsoever. You get the same reward as you fasted. You just have to make it up. So, no. And I would even advise, say, if you've got multiple drivers, that whoever chooses to drive, not fast. Normally you have a co-pilot to try to make sure that you don't go to sleep. Now, if the co-pilot can do his job while he's not fasting, or while he's fasting, fine. Otherwise, get him to break his fast as well. Okay, that's with the travel there. So these days with planes and that, sometimes people travelling, they're going from airport and they've got transits. They start getting dizzy and things like that. And travelling has its toll. When you're travelling those high altitudes and those high speeds, if you find it difficult, you don't have to fast. You can say, look, let me get through my journey and I'll make up the days down the track.
What do you mean make up the days? Do another day of fasting beyond Ramadan, the month of Ramadan?
Correct. Yes. So if you are travelling and decide, I don't want to fast, and you travel for 2 days, then that's fine. You make up 2 days after Ramadan for those 2 days
After
you
Eid, you can't fast during
Correct. Also, when it comes to ladies' monthlies, they do not fast once they have their monthlies.
Mm-hmm.
So during their period, it's now they don't fast. And they just make it up after the month of Ramadan. Anytime. It could be next month, the month after. They can wait until it's winter, everything's cooled down, and make it up then as well.
And shorter days.
And shorter days.
Does it have to be before the next Ramadan?
Technically no, but they say it's advisable not to delay it until the next Ramadan. It should be done whenever possible, but not kept, because what would happen there, sister, you wait to the next Ramadan and now you're doubled up.
Yeah.
You had 7 days to make up, now another Ramadan, you got 14 days to make up.